Namaste and welcome to Hatha Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua, and for today's generally heart opening, physically bringing the shoulders into extension for the physical practice, you'll want to have two blocks and a strap. Let's start in some form of Virasana or hero's pose if that works for your body. You may want to place a block in between your ankles as you point your toes back and bring the knees no wider than hips distance apart, sitting on that block. And if any version of Virasana does not work for your body, as with any of the postures, please take care of yourself. Of course, we're not trying to force ourselves into poses that wouldn't be yoga. Adjust as you need and get creative with whatever props that you have where you are. And you can always opt out, of course. I wanted to share with all the many things going around in the world today, it's easy to get caught in the stress of war and whatever is happening in your community. And I wanted to share something that is a bit more hopeful and uplifting. It's an article that was published on December 29, 2022 in the New York Post about the power of collective meditation, which is large groups of people coming together to meditate day after day. And the study, it says, 17 years in the making, is being hailed as a landmark in the field of meditation, demonstrating that widespread practice makes a positive impact on the US population or wherever that group is meditating, even on those who don't partake. Between 2007 and 2011, researchers then began following a group of 1,725 participants who meditated every day. Stress-related incidents overall had significantly decreased, while a mere fraction of the US, the approximate square root of 1% of the population, meditated together. This is the Maharishi effect. As the group's meditation began and continued, the occurrence of stress-related incidents such as murders, rape, assault, robberies, and more trended downward. When the 5 years were over and the study entered its post period from 2012 to 2016, the same stress-related incidents began to trend upward again like before, and quite suddenly. Meditation has been touted as a way to reduce individual stress, lower anxiety, reduce chronic pain and depression, lower the risk of heart disease, and relieve sleep problems and headaches. This research shows that on a larger scale, meditation can do more than just keep your heart rate down. Maharishi International researchers believe that meditation could be the key to quelling crime and tragedy. Just a little more. So in the World Journal of Science, this research I'm referring to is the longest and most comprehensive of dozens of studies that have tested the benefits of meditation, otherwise known as the Maharishi effect. What is it? It holds that every individual in society, whether stressed or coherent, contributes to collective consciousness. Collective consciousness, in turn, impacts the life of every individual, guiding the trends of life in the nation or beyond that. This study used state-of-the-art methods of time series regression analysis for eliminating potential alternative explanations due to intrinsic pre-existing trends and fluctuations in the data, said co-author Dr. Kenneth Kavanagh. And he said, we carefully studied potential alternative explanations in terms of changes in economic conditions, political leadership, population demographics, and policing strategies. None of these factors could account for the results. Thank you for showing up today, because you are partaking in a collective meditation. As we bring our attention to a single focus, such as the breath or whatever your intention is for this yoga practice, and show up together, we're sharing in a larger energy that we are then in turn rippling out into those around us. So at the end of our physical yoga practice, the asanas, I'll invite you to sit for 5 minutes of meditation in which I'll guide a metta meditation, extending peace through the practice of loving kindness to those beyond us who are practicing now. And I hope that you'll in some way find ways to gather in groups and practice collective meditation for peace, so that that may be the more powerful force that influences the trends around us. And so with that, let's begin the practice by checking in with ourselves, sitting still, maybe closing the eyes. Notice any sensations you're feeling right now in your physical body. As you bring a caring attention, let go of any need to judge what you are observing as good or bad, simply becoming more aware. Notice as well the quality of your breath without changing or controlling your breath. And sensing its qualities, notice how you feel right now energetically. Now bring awareness to how you're feeling emotionally and mentally. You might notice any patterns of thoughts you have been giving your attention. Let's begin to deepen the breath, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your lips. Gently inhaling a little slower. This time, hold the breath in if you can for a few seconds and notice how it feels to arrive at the top of the breath. And on your own, empty the breath if you can, just as slowly, and pause at the bottom for a few seconds, sensing that contrast of emptiness. I invite you to try it again. And now, as you continue to deepen your breath, I invite you to recognize anything right now that you can appreciate in any aspect of life. And that way, cultivating the energy of gratitude, which helps to open up our perspective. And so with that mindset, I invite you to choose your intention for this practice. What would you like to cultivate by showing up here in this practice of uniting your mind, body, awareness, and breath? I strongly believe that the peace around us externally begins with a peace that we're cultivating within us. So I invite you to consider that this practice today as a way of cultivating inner peace. Now I invite you to choose somebody or a community or larger than a community to offer your practice to as a way of wishing them the benefits of this practice that you also receive. As a way to set our intentions and dedications together while creating a resonant space. Let's join our voices chanting Om 3 times. Inhale a little deeper. So one of the ways that we can practice meditation as well as regulate our energy is through breath work, pranayama. I'll invite you into a practice called Ujjayi Pranayama. It's a way to balance your energy and calm and focus your mind and body. So let's place a hand on the chest and hand in the lower belly if it makes sense to you. And closing the lips, breathing just through the nose if you can. Begin to sustain your breath equally in and out while creating a very soft, smooth whispering sound that's done by gently narrowing or constricting the back of your throat. I'm going to count to 5 as we breathe in and 5 as we breathe out, so we can balance and lengthen the breath the first few cycles together, really fine tuning that sound that you're creating so it doesn't sound forceful, but it's very gentle, like soft ocean waves. So let's prepare to begin. Empty this breath. Inhale slowly for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5. Exhale 5. If you can gently slow it down some more, feel free as you continue to lengthen and balance your inhales and exhales on your own. And what we're doing right now as well is setting the pace with which we'll move the body in vinyasa flow as we're warming up. See if you can keep this rhythm slow and steady, consistent as you can. And as you're paying attention to the breath, it's a way of anchoring your mind so that your movements and postures are also a form of meditation. So as you listen to your breathing, make your way down onto tabletop pose, hands and knees on the floor. As you spread your fingers wide and flat, stack your shoulders above your wrists, but step your knees a couple of inches behind your hips. As you breathe in, glide your chest forward and roll your shoulders back, lifting your chest up into cow pose. As you breathe out, contract your abdomen, rounding your back as you drop the head into cat pose. Again, inhale, slowly coiling your chest up into cow pose. Exhale, contracting the abdomen to round into cat pose. Continue another 3 to 5 cycles of cat-cow or Betalasana on your own. At the end of your next exhalation, tucking your toes, lift your hips back into downward facing dog and spend a few breaths moving your body as you might need to help loosen it up. For example, you might pedal your feet in place, shake and nod your head, still listening to that slow, even breath. Let your thumbs flatten towards each other as your index fingers point straight ahead or slightly turned out. Relax your neck, lift your hips high. You can bend the knees if you need. Imagine you're trying to create a flat back as you engage your belly in. Now relax the neck and spin your outer upper arms towards the ground to broaden across the tops of your shoulders. Let's move to the breath. As you breathe in, glide forward into the top of a push-up plank pose, stacking your shoulders right above the wrists. Either keep the legs straight or place the knees on the ground. As you breathe out, glide forward and bend your elbows to lower halfway down in Chaturanga Dandasana, hugging the elbows to your ribs. Inhale, press up to plank again. Exhale, lift the hips back to downward dog. Let's try that twice more, which is basically a yogi push-up. Inhale forward, top of a push-up, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, glide forward to Chaturanga Dandasana, lower halfway down. Inhale, press up to plank. Exhale, hips back to down dog. Last round. Inhale, forward to plank pose. Exhale, forward and lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, press up to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walking your feet to the top of your mat, let's enter a standing forward fold with your feet hips distance apart. Parallel your second toes and bend your knees. Reach the hands behind you to interlace your fingers. So right now your shoulders are in extension, which is going to be a theme throughout our physical practice, often called heart openers because it helps to open up the chest and the breath. As you breathe in, lift your spine forward, draw your shoulders back into a half forward fold. As you breathe out, fold in, maybe a little deeper. Let the head fall as you relax the neck. We're going to be here for a few breaths. With a hand still together, continue to stretch your arms away from your lower back to further open the fronts of your shoulders. Now at the same time, keep lengthening your neck by lifting your shoulder heads. With a slight bend in the elbows, couple more deep breaths. Now let the arms fall as you breathe in. Press to your feet and inhale, sweep the arms forward and rise up. Rolling the shoulders behind your ears and down, tilt your heart up in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, gather your hands in prayer in front of your chest, mountain pose. Remind yourself what your intention is for today's practice. Moving with the energy of that, let's offer gratitude to the sun, great source of energy, through sun salutation C. Inhale, sweep your arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Plant your fingertips outside your heels. Inhale, step your left knee behind you on the ground. Look up, holding your breath, step into plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest, then your chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slither forward, grounding your feet, coil your chest up into Cobra, Bhujangasana. Tucking your toes, exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb and lower your right knee, gazing up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Inhale, rising up, lift your heart towards the sun, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, join your palms to meet at your heart. One more time, second side. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Plant your fingertips. Inhale, step the right knee back, look up. Holding your breath, step to plank. Exhale to Ashtangasana, lower knees, chest, then chin. Inhale to Cobra, draw the shoulders back. Exhale to downward facing dog, or Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb, lower your left knee, gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Inhale, slowly rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands together in Padasana. Let's continue to warm up. Sun salutation A. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Press your fingertips either on your legs, blocks, or the floor, and inhale, lengthen forward into Ardha Uttanasana. Step into your version of plank, and as you exhale, glide forward through that yogi push-up, and then decide to lower all the way for Cobra or flip the toes halfway down into upward facing dog. Exhale the hips back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. This time I invite you to still your body as you focus on the rhythm of your breath for 3 cycles here. Also steadying your gaze or drishti helps to cultivate that focus. When you've emptied the 3rd breath, walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat into a forward fold. Press with your hands and inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale again, fold. Press with your feet. Inhale, rise up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale your hands to meet at your heart. Let's move on to Sun Salutation B, Surya Namaskar B. Bringing the inner edges of your big toes to touch. Prepare to move to the breath, starting with chair pose. So inhale, bend your knees together to touch. Lean back towards your heels and raise your arms up. Then exhale, shift your weight forward and bow from your hips. Press with your hands. Inhale, lengthen forward to half forward fold. Either walk to plank and lower forward and down, or float to chaturanga if you practice jumping into your vinyasa. Take it through, follow your pace of breath. Now at downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Try to keep your hips leveled. As you exhale, lightly step the foot beside your right thumb and spin your left heel down. Then inhale, rise up to stand in Warrior One. Ride your exhalation down into your vinyasa. From downward dog, keeping your hips leveled again, inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale the foot beside your left thumb, spin your right heel down, then inhale, rise into Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower, continue into your vinyasa. Once again, in downward dog, let your body be still as you steady your gaze and breath, at least 3 cycles of breath. Bring the energy of your intention once again to how you're holding yourself in this posture. When you're ready to empty the breath, then walk or float to the front of your mat. Let your feet touch in a forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend your knees together. Inhale, sit back in Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, rise up, Tadasana. Let's take it through Surya Namaskar B1 last time. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Step or float back, take it to your vinyasa. Now continue at your pace of breath. When you get to downward dog, inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale to Warrior One without rushing. Follow your breath pace. Keep regulating the breath. Take it through both sides of Warrior One, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Bringing that quality of energy that is within your intention. For example, if your intention was peace, how do you move and breathe with peace? If you need rest, take rest, whether that means coming down to your knees and lowering to child's pose, or taking cat-cow instead of plank pose, or just slowing things down, taking care of yourself. If you have been in downward dog for at least 3 breaths and your breath feels steady and stable and you're ready to go, walk or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, rise up. Let's separate the feet wide apart as your hips again, parallel. Bring the hands to your hips and inhale, drop the shoulders back, look up. Exhale, hinging from your hips, cultivate a flat back sort of feeling. So if needed, bend your knees to prevent rounding the shoulders or the back. Padahastasana, giving the outer wrist a stretch, lifting your toes. Slip your palms face up
under the soles of your feet. Try to get your toes to meet the inner creases of your wrists. As you keep your hands underneath, inhale, press your heart through the gates of your arms, lengthen the back of the neck. Keep shifting forward, keep creating space in the neck, and exhale, hinge from your hips, lifting the shoulders, dropping the skull, maybe even shaking and nodding the head for a few breaths. Check in with how you're feeling in your body and energy at this point. If you're feeling very fiery and energetic, you might choose to take another vinyasa. Or somewhere in the middle, you might choose to practice cat-cow a couple of times. Or otherwise, step right into downward facing dog. Let's meet there. Now in downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. As you exhale, bend the knee towards your nose and engage your abdomen. Shift forward to plank and then softly land the foot beside your right thumb. Stay on the ball of your left foot, grab your strap, then inhale, rise into crescent lunge. So drawing your tailbone down, square your hips to face forward, steadying your gaze for a few deep breaths. Spin your left heel down, align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot as if entering warrior two. Bending your front knee just over the ankle, wrap your right outer hip under you. Firm the top of your left thigh bone back, and let's prepare for bound side angle pose, which will bring the left shoulder into extension. So holding the strap in your left hand, wrap the long tail behind your back until it's dangling on the right side of your right thigh. Glide your hips sideways towards the rear edge of your mat as you lengthen your torso towards your front wall. Bring your right arm onto the inner side of your right thigh and find the bottom end of the strap to hold. Then as your arms are generally straight, use your right arm pressing against your inner right thigh as leverage while you're spinning your chest slightly to face the sky, walking the hands closer together, keep the right leg still, and wrapping the right glute underneath. Now, some of you might clasp your hands or hold on to your left wrist, as long as you're not bowing forward and compressing your lower back. Remember, the purpose of this shoulder and extension that the bind is creating is to open up the fronts of the shoulders and chest, open up the breath. Land your gaze on one spot, and let's tune into 4 more breaths here in Baddha Parshvakonasana. Now, gazing down towards your right foot, begin to lower the right hand on the right side of your right shin, whether on a block or the floor. Draw your right hip crease towards the rear wall, straightening the right leg, raise the left arm, entering triangle pose. Keep lengthening the top of your head forward. Now slide your shoulder blades further down your back ribs, spinning your chest slightly to face the sky. Direct your gaze, another 3 to 4 breaths. Trikonasana. Gazing down ahead of your right foot, steady your breath as you transition forward into half moon pose. Walk your right hand about 6 inches ahead of your right pinky toe out to the right corner. Use a block if the ground feels too low to reach for. And then flex your left foot off the ground, recreating the shape of triangle pose as you balance on one foot. Let your mind steady on the sound waves you're creating in the breath. There's an option to also bring the left shoulder in extension by coming into Ardha Chandra Chapasana, only if your balance feels stable in half moon first. So if you're going in Chapasana, bend the left knee towards your belly. With your left hand, catch hold of the top of your left foot. Kick your left foot back as you pull it towards you and roll the left shoulder back. Keep engaging the belly. And then we're here for 3 to 4 more breaths. Tack the crease of your right hip back towards your inner left knee. Straighten your left leg. Take your time on an exhalation to step into peaceful warrior, where your right knee is bent, left foot is on the ground, and you're raising the right arm overhead as you side bend towards your rear wall. Deep inhale here. Then exhale, windmill your hands to the ground. Let's go right into downward facing dog. Pause for a cycle of breath there. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose. Step the foot softly beside your left thumb and stay on the ball of your right foot. Take hold of your strap as you rise to crescent pose. So anchoring your tailbone down, square your hips to face forward. Steady gaze, steady breath. Spin your right heel down and align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Bend your left knee just over the ankle. Let's prepare for bound side angle pose. So take the strap in your right hand and swing the long tail behind your back until it's hanging on the left side of your left thigh. Roll your left outer hip under you from the top of your right thigh bone back. And now slide your pelvis sideways towards your rear wall as you lengthen your torso towards your front wall. Place your left arm on the inside of the left thigh. Take hold of the bottom end of the strap and then walk your hands as close together as you can as you continue to lengthen the spine, spinning the chest slightly towards the sky, maybe catching hold of your right wrist or clasping the hands, just as long as you're not compressing the lower back by bowing forward here. 3 to 4 more breaths in Baddha Parshvakonasana. Now gaze at your left foot and lower your left hand on the left side of your left shin on a block or the floor. Tack the crease of your left hip further back as you straighten the left leg and lengthen the crown of your head forward as you raise the right arm. Draw your shoulder blades down your back ribs and spin your chest slightly to face the sky. Trikonasana. Gazing on the ground ahead of your left foot, begin to shift forward into half moon pose. Crawl the left hand upper left corner of your left pinky toe on a block or the floor and flex your right foot as it leaves the floor. If you practice bringing the left shoulder in extension in Ardha Chandra Chapasana, I invite you to do the same for your right shoulder here, where you bend the right knee towards your belly. With a right hand, catch the top of your right foot. Kick your right foot back as you pull it towards your glute and draw the right shoulder back to open the front of it. Check in with the quality of your breath. As you're ready to start landing, straighten the right leg. With an exhalation, step the right foot down through warrior two, flip the left palm up into peaceful warrior, side bending towards your rear wall. Deep breath in. As you exhale, cartwheel your hands to the floor and go right into Adho Mukha Svanasana, pausing for one slow cycle of breath. Then inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, cross the knee to tap your left elbow or somewhere near there in plank pose. Step the foot beside your right thumb. And inhale, rise up, spinning the left heel down into warrior one. Now in warrior one, very similar to crescent pose, both your frontal hip bones are equally facing forward. So you'll want to have a wide enough stance sideways, about feet hips distance apart, where the back leg can stay straight as you ground the outer heel. Bending the front knee just over the ankle, slightly lift the frontal hip bones. Let's prepare to bring both shoulders in extension in humble warrior. So backstroke both arms and interlace your fingers. You can also hold a strap between your hands if it's hard to do that. Draw the shoulders back, breathe in. And then take your time through a few breaths, bowing forward, whether you lean on your right thigh or lower the crown of your head towards the inside of your right ankle. Tack your right hip crease back. Try to keep your hips evenly facing forward. Stretching the arms away from the lower back, opening up the fronts of your shoulders. Let the neck fall or relax here. This posture is also called devotional warrior. Now press to your feet and inhale to rise up. And let's come back to crescent lunge, preparing for a twist. With your right hand, cup the top of your right thigh, root the right leg still, and inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Now either lower the left hand down inside of your front leg on a block of the floor and raise the right arm up, or hook your left elbow outside of your right thigh, and either join your hands in prayer, open the arms apart, or bind. Try to keep your left and right hips still and balanced in height. So you're not twisting at the lower back, you're keeping it safe. As you breathe in, lengthen the top of your head forward, draw the shoulders down your back. As you breathe out, firm your outer hips towards your midline and let your rib cage spin. Last few breaths in Parita Parshvakonasana. Now look at the floor just in front of your right toes. Start to unravel from the twist and shift your weight forward into Warrior 3. Lifting the left leg from the inseam, flex the foot and turn the left outer hip to face down. You have the option to place your hands on the floor or on blocks if you need more support. Virabhadrasana 3. Begin to step the left toes back. Lower your hands both on the inner side of your right foot and step your right foot to the right about 3 to 5 more inches. Lizard lunge. Set your left knee on the ground and decide how you want to set up here for 5 breaths. If you want to give your left hip flexor a deeper stretch, you can bend the left knee, lean your torso forward so you're not digging the kneecap into the ground, and backstroke the right arm, maybe catching hold of the top of your left foot or lassoing it with a strap as you gently bring it closer, helping to also stretch your quadricep as you open the front of your right shoulder. Now, if you're feeling very open in the right hip here, you can come down onto the left forearm or both forearms if the hands are both in front. Let's tune into the last 3 to 5 breaths. Start to make your way gently back to downward facing dog. Tune into a full cycle of breath there. Then inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale, cross the knee to tap your right elbow, twisting in plank. Softly land the foot beside your left thumb and spin the right heel down. Inhale, rise to stand in Warrior 1. So remember to have a wide enough stance between your feet sideways where both hips can face forward as you straighten the back leg and bend the front knee just over the heel while rooting the outer edge of your right heel into the ground. Backstroke both arms and maybe switch the interlacing of your thumb and index finger on top for Humble Warrior. Inhale, look up as you lift your heart. Take your time bowing forward. Keep squaring the hips, stretching the arms away from your lower back as you relax your neck. Lifting the shoulders up away from it. Pressing through your feet, inhale, rise up. Lift the right heel, let's come back to crescent lunge. Preparing for a twist, cup the top of your left thigh with your left hand. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, and at your waist, not your hips, begin to twist to your left, entering the same version you practiced on your first side. Each in-breath, lengthen through the center line of your body. Each out breath, keep your hips still in balance while you rotate the rib cage. Twisting side angle pose variation. Look at the ground ahead of your left toes. Bring your hands to prayer as you look forward. Shift your weight forward and lift your right leg from the inseam, entering warrior three. Right away, flex your right foot. Remember, you could place your hands on blocks or the ground if you need more support. Square both hips to face the floor as you gaze on the ground ahead. Virabhadrasana 3. Slowly step your right toes back onto the ground. Place your hands both on the right side of your left foot. Walk your left foot to the left another 3 to 5 inches and lower your right knee. Lizard lunge. Then find the same version of this posture, if it's available, that you practiced on the first side. If you want to go deeper into your right hip flexor or quadricep, bend the right knee, lean your weight forward, and backstroke the left arm to bring the right foot closer. Maybe come down onto your right forearm. Tune into about 3 more cycles of breath. Gently release, and let's step onto our knees. We're going to enter our last few back bends, beginning with Ustrasana, camel pose, where we bring both shoulders into extension. So take a block, at least for this first round, and by the skinniest width, firmly hug it between your knees and thighs. Tuck your toes behind you. Backstroke both arms and place your hands on your lower back with your fingertips pointing down. With your hands, encourage your pelvis to remain forward, stacked right above your knees, the whole pose. And encourage your tailbone to actively lengthen downward towards the block while you lift the back ribs. So you want to focus on lengthening your lower back. Visualize the area right under your shoulder blades, and that's where we want to create the bend that tilts the chest and gaze up. Now, hugging your elbows closer together already helps to open up the chest, so keep doing that. Inhale, lift your sternum, peel your shoulder heads behind you, and then exhale, slide the shoulder blades down, and right beneath them, tilt your chest up. You're in it, camel pose. Give it about 5 breaths before you rise up and sit to relax for a couple breaths. Now, if it's available on this first round of 3, you might lower one hand to hold the heel that's right behind it. And then you could switch hands, switch heels, or hold both, or do none of that. Remember to keep your hips forward, right on top of the knees. With the help of both hands in the lower back, when you're ready, lift up and then find a comfortable way to sit. Maybe you sit on the block between the ankles and rest your hands at your heart center for a couple deep breaths. All right, round 2. You could decide if you want the extra lower back support that the block gives or not. You could decide to tuck your toes so your heels are up higher and it feels more stable, or you go a little further and have the heels lower. So take your choice for 5 to 7 breaths this time. Ustrasana will meet sitting. Give yourself at least a couple of breaths to rest before you take your last round of camel pose on your own for 5 to 10 deep breaths.
Now, when you've rested for a few breaths after your last camel pose, please bring your legs out in front of you as you come to sit. Let's prepare for a spinal twist sitting down. Extend your left leg forward and step your right foot on the ground, either in front of your right hip, or if you can keep the balance of your pelvis, cross the right foot outside of the left knee to go deeper. You could also bend the left knee. As you root your sitting bones down and sit tall, place the right hand behind your pelvis and raise your left arm. Press your body into the ground and lift up through the top of your head as you breathe in. Exhale, twist to your right and hold your left leg with your right arm, or hook your elbow outside of it. Continuing to root down and rise as you breathe in, and maybe twisting deeper as you breathe out. On your next exhale, unwind your spine. And let's take a moment for a hip opener here. So cross your right shin forward or on top of your left shin. If your hips are open enough to be able to stack your ankles and your knees, make sure that you're flexing your feet. This is double pigeon, or you're sitting cross-legged. Root your sitting bones down and breathe in, lift your heart. Relax the shoulders and begin to hinge forward for a few breaths. Then press your pelvis down, begin to lift from your chest. Inhale to rise up. Stretch your legs out, maybe shake them out. And let's prepare for the spinal twist. If you can, in the same way that you practiced the first side. Step the left foot in front of your left hip or cross it outside of your right knee. Maybe also bend your right knee. Place the left hand behind your pelvis, raise your right arm. Root into the ground as you inhale to lengthen upwards. Then exhale, begin twisting to your left. Lower your right arm, maybe hook the elbow outside your thigh, and continue to twist for about 4 more breaths. As you breathe out, unwind your spine, and this time cross your left shin forward or on top of your right shin. If you are in double pigeon, in which your ankles and knees are stacked, make sure to flex your feet to help safely align your knees. Ground your sitting bones, inhale, lift your sternum, sit tall. Keep your sternum slightly lifted, and exhale, begin hinging from your hips. Inhale, root down through your hips, rise to your heart center, and straighten both legs in front. Let's prepare for one more posture before we lower to rest, and that is Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. So root your sitting bones down, and you may like to use a strap around the balls of your feet as an extension of your arms. Otherwise, you might lift the arms and eventually clasp your big toes. So flex your feet, sit tall, breathe in, keep the shoulders relaxed, belly slightly engaged, and then little by little, as you breathe out, hinge forward from your hips. Press down through your hips, and inhale, begin to lift from your chest. Slowly rise. Relax your feet. And before we lower down for corpse pose, I'll invite you into one more pranayama practice to help us to calm ourselves deeper and prepare for meditation. So find a way to sit comfortably, tall. You feel open to breathe well. And this breathing technique is alternate nostril breathing, Nodi Shodhana Pranayama, which also helps to balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain, balance your energy, the yin and the yang energy, and tune deeper inward. connecting to your intuitive energy center. It's done by closing the lips and breathing very softly in and out through the nose while the left hand rests on your lap. You might place it in Gyan Mudra, thumb and index finger touching, palm face up. The right hand is in Vishnu Mudra, where you stick out the thumb, pinky, and ring fingers. We'll be using the right thumb to close the right nostril like this, and the right ring and pinky to close the left nostril like this. Alternate nostril breathing. For this practice, I will invite you to breathe in or breathe out for a count of 4, and to hold the breath either in or out for a count of 6. See if you can do that as relaxed as possible. If it's too difficult, then go at your own pace. You can hold the breath for a shorter period. The purpose of holding the breath, and even to hold it longer, is to really bring our attention to a calmness. It helps to really be focused on what you're doing and to be present. So let's begin preparing to practice 3 cycles together and then 2 cycles on your own. Empty this breath. With right thumb, cover right nostril. Inhale left for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In exhale left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cycle 2. Inhale left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue 2 more cycles on your own. And when you're finished, let go of controlling the breath and observe anything that you feel. As you're ready, please begin to lower all the way onto the ground. Find a position you can lie down and rest in stillness in for a few minutes of Shavasana. Resting a little longer with your eyes closed. Notice how your physical body feels right now. Be gentle as you begin to wake up your body, starting with small, easy movements, graduating into a simple stretch, and eventually turning over onto your right side and resting your head. As you arrive there, notice the quality of your natural breath. Checking in with how you feel now energetically as a result of your practice. When you're ready, press your hands into the earth and find a comfortable way to sit for our 5 minutes of meditation. Sitting tall and relaxed, we can breathe naturally, fully. You might place your hands in a mudra that cultivates evenness of mind, which is stacking the palms face up on the center of your lap and letting your thumbs gently touch. Maybe close the eyes. Otherwise, steady a gentle gaze, downcast. As I mentioned, this is going to be a metta meditation, which is a loving kindness practice focused on peace and spreading peace. So I invite you to begin by just sensing your breath in its natural flow, wherever you can observe the breath most easily in your body. Know that if your attention goes astray, it's okay, it happens. But you can always come back to the feeling of the breath here as a way to come back to the present moment. I invite you to allow a moment to just sense how you feel right now, emotionally and mentally. Bringing a kind, compassionate attention to that. How does your body feel when you are in a peaceful moment? When your mind and heart feel at peace? Now, without explaining it, I invite you to just take a moment to remember that viscerally. It might mean that you picture a time in which you were feeling peaceful and get back into that mood, that feeling state. It might mean that you think of someone that brings you peace. It might be a spiritual being that you pray to, or it might be a pet or someone that you love. Beginning our metta practice, I invite you to visualize yourself looking at yourself. So visualize seeing yourself before you, and in your most authentic words that make sense to you, I invite you to gesture giving yourself the feeling of peace. You might say mentally, "May you live in peace." And feel yourself receiving that for a moment. Next, I invite you to visualize someone that you care about, someone that easily makes you smile when you think of them. And as you visualize them before you, I invite you to extend the same gesture or words of sending them peace. And give yourself a moment to feel that they are actually receiving that. And now think of someone that you may not know very well. Maybe you don't even know their name. They're an acquaintance, or you see them here and there as you're walking down your street. Someone that you feel maybe neutral about. And as you picture them before you, I invite you to extend the same gesture of peace to them, wishing them peace. Now, next, invite you to call to mind someone that you might find challenging. Maybe you recently had a disagreement or conflict. And as you picture them, find a way to acknowledge something mutual about you, such as your humanness, your need to feel loved, your need to be in peace, your common need. And then from a sincere heart space, I invite you to extend them the same gesture of peace, wishing them peace. And as we let go of the practice, sense what's here now within you. While we can't change the actions or thoughts or beliefs of those around us, we can choose our own. And so, coming from that place of peace, notice the subtle and rippling effects you create around you. Acknowledging something to offer gratitude for in this moment. Take a moment of appreciation. The metta practice of offering peace to someone challenging can be challenging. So I invite you to give yourself some gratitude as well. And then remind yourself of what your intention was for today's practice. Remember to whom or what you dedicated today's practice to. Letting the vibration which you chant extend to all ends of the earth, maybe beyond, and to be integrated within the cells of your body. Let's close chanting Om 3 times. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.